recording. Okay. Yeah, so Vic, I mean, so if you look at the FOMC days, like you say, at 2:30, basically when it starts talking, things happen. But also the other thing is just look at the indicator. So this is February. Look at that indicator, calls. Okay. Here, next one. So you're at, this says 2:30. So we have.
Are you presenting something? Are you presenting something?
Oh, sorry. I guess I gotta share my screen. Let me do that. And let me see. Okay, you should see it now.
And yes, we do.
Okay, so you see the FOMC?
Yeah, there it is.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, so if you look at this one in February, like you say, so 2:30, and you said it when I asked everyone to do their homework and look at the FOMC days. You said, hey, the real move is after 2:30, and so when you look at this, February 2:30, what happens? Yellow triangle, whole signal, boom, write it up. Okay. There we go. This is March, 22nd March, 2:30. So after 2:30, we get here. We have a call signal here. So you get a little bit of upside, but then you get downside, and then you get. So this one obviously wasn't as good because you had a turn here, but then you're like, okay, I'm wrong. Blue triangle, put signal, write it down. So you made good money. This was not the best one, but then you go to May, you look at it, 2:30, put signal. You're a little bit in pain, but you hold out. You keep going. So there's the pre-market high. You look at this one, 2:30, first signal. You're playing it, calls all the way up. So it's, and then July. 2:30, calls all the way to the top, puts all the way to the bottom, and then today, 2:30, chop around at the VWAP. I've been playing a lot of mean reversion lately, but so you're at the VWAP, you're like, okay, it was a red day today. You look at, Megaspace, everything's red. So small puts, you get a put signal, boom, you play. So I mean, if you just play the indicator signals every time after 2:30 on FOMC days, you're making money.
Yeah, it's quite clear pattern to this. 2:30, 2:40 calls.
Yep.
Today it was a Thursday. Everything was red. The Megaspace was all red. There was really a reason to go up. I mean, there were individual tickers that were kind of, but Tesla, if you look at Tesla today, Tesla hit 273, and then when everything turned red, it dumped.
Yes, I mean Tesla made a good effort. So the thing is, let me just see if I go. Let me just turn off these. I have this on a bigger screen, so this is a little harder to see. But
I meant to ask you for what is the reason for this?
oh, I'll show you. Let me take a picture of this other monitor and just quickly post it. Because this this is too scrunched up. So if I go here and I edit it. Make it a little bit visible. Done. And then I want to do copy photo. And then I just paste it into the chat area. Oh, that's not what I want. I want board. We go chat, paste. It's better. So take a look at that picture. So that's that same chart, but on a bigger monitor. So you can take a look at it as it unfolds during the day, and you see everything's pretty much red except for Tesla. So that's clue number one, that you don't want to play calls. So when all of the big boys are red, you definitely that's a clue that calls are not a safe thing to play. Okay. Then you go to the mega space. So basically right here, I've set it up so that I have 4 mega spaces on one chart. And usually I make it much smaller, so I do like, and I would put it, I remember how to do this.
And by the way, Frick, is there a way to make the megaspace chart longer?
I need to add a configuration option for you to do that.
Okay.
So yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. But yeah, so basically, I'm looking at it like that, and I mean, honestly, I make it small, but I'll make it configurable for people with different setups. But the whole idea is that I see a sea of red. Okay, so what does it tell me? That tells me no calls. Okay, so I have 4 of them set up, and then I have 1 in each corner. And then these are the sector industries on the left. Okay, so you can monitor them during the day. You can see everything's going down. You can see the big 8. Well, I'm saying big 8, but it's like the ones I care about. They're going down. You look at ES, Qs. I mean, they're all red. Then you look at, and then so this table bottom left, I've set up for the things that's opposite. That's opposite,
Yep.
exactly opposite the market. So I
Yep.
have VIX, I have UVXY, I have Dixie, I have your oil. I could probably make that list a little bit longer. But so I could look at this, and then in an instance, I know that calls is not a good idea. Now, you could play an individual stock. Like Tesla was running up and people made money on it playing calls. But you have to remember that if you trade an individual stock, you trade against the market, it's a lower probability trade. It could still happen. But if it gives up, like we saw with Tesla, then it's going to be dragged down, especially when there's so much red in the market. So what I find is that when the market opens, if Megaspace tells me that everything's red or green, then it's a good idea to trade the best ticker at open. Otherwise, just wait for something later. So that's Megaspace. I'm not sure if you guys are finding it as useful as I do, but I think it's really important that you try and set up something like this. And actually, you can fit 9 of them in, because you can have a 3x3 grid where you can put in as many things as you want. Up to 9 times 8. So you could have 72 tickers that you could be looking at any time, and you want to dedicate the chart. And then I just go into my settings, and then I just go and remove everything. So simple, I just uncheck everything, uncheck everything. So that way, so I just have the new chart open. So when I uncheck everything, the chart does not come in the way, so I don't see anything. So Megaspace dedicated. You can have up to 72 items, and it just helps you to know what's a higher probability play. And then obviously you've seen that the bias arrow, it's calculated on a 30-minute chart. So if it's -10, then it's going to take a lot of effort. I mean, so the bigger the number, the more effort it's going to take to turn the ship around. Okay, so these are things just like we have the EMA clouds on 1, 3, 5, 10, and 30 minutes, and then we have, and if you hover over it, and then you have the super trend, 30-minute super trend, 40 odd minutes, on the 30-minute chart. So when you see all of these things this red, then it will take a lot of effort to turn things around. And that's why when we looked at the chat, so if we go back to Discord and we looked at the chat, this was 257. I mean, I said 257, and then you look at, let's just go, actually we could go back here at 257. So we're still, so right here, so we're here at SPY 442, and we dropped all the way to 438. So while we were here, let me just find that call. I was saying that when you look at everything, it means more downside. So I said at 257. Well, I already made some money, so I wasn't gonna take more chances. But you look at it, and it's like down seems easier when you look at all the data. So I mean, so you have to learn to look at these things and say, okay, can it bounce? Absolutely, but you have to know that based on all the data, it's a lower probability setup. When everything's that red, when all your bias indicators are that red, it means that it's going to take a much bigger ship to turn that around. So that's.
Rick, I think the important thing is it's a sea of red. Yeah, you can have a bounce here or there, but those bounces typically in this sea of red are a better opportunity for you to get in short. It's like that insurance. Okay, if I see a little bit of a bounce, and it's headed down like this, and I see on the super trend it's going down across multiple time and EMAs and time frames, I'm going to get in short. It's an opportunity for me to get in short at that moment in time. I'm not going to go against the prevailing trend at that moment.
That's right. And the other thing too is that when you do see a bounce, you don't want to play the calls. You want to use that as the opportunity to align with the trend and get into the puts. Yep. Because I think that's the mistake we make a lot of times, is that when there's a clear trend, we wanna play those bounces. We want to buy the calls, and then first of all, we're losing money on those things, and we're building bad habits. Now, if there's no trend, then I do like playing mean reversion. So I use those bands to buy calls at the bottom, that puts at the top or at the VWAP. But again, if you see a clear trend, then wait for it to get to the top of the bands and then play the puts. Obviously when you have a news event, then it can change very quickly. So you cannot know if it's going to bounce or not, because all of the data can change in an instant. But when at 2:30, at 2:48, when we were this red, we were constantly rejecting VWAP, which we've done all day long. And I know from history that the indicator has been very good at calling it after 2:30. And I've showed you guys that data a day or two ago. So I got small puts, and then I added to when I got the put signal, and made some good money. I mean, I got stopped out in profit because I was not brave enough. But and that's the thing. So you have to learn how to read the data and know that this is just you're swimming uptrend or you're swimming with the trend. And then the other thing too is never add to losers. So because the more you add to it, the harder it gets to cut the losers. So I mean a lot of people tell me that they have problems cutting their losers because it's just impossible. You have to do it. You know what the right thing is to do, yet you still cannot do it. And I mean we've all had these problems, but I think the most important thing you can do to fix that is to never add to losers. So if you have Tesla puts or anything, don't even get other puts that's closer in the money or anything, because that's cheating. Just never ever add to losers. Even if you never cut it, you're going to lose less money. Okay. And I mean, occasionally you add to losers, and then you're gonna make some money, but you're building bad habits, so you never want to do that.
But Frick, it's like you said, you want a reason to get into the position that you're getting into. I mean, if you're just buying puts and or you're buying calls and it's a trending down day and you're just buying calls because you're thinking cheaper to buy, that's a bad habit to get into.
That's right.
I want to get into
a
position if it's falling and I see a little bit of a bounce, prevailing trend going down. The good habit is you're buying a little insurance by buying the puts at that moment in time. So yeah, add to your winners if you want to, but not to your losers. Cut it, eat the loss, because the next trade is an opportunity for you to make your money back plus plenty more.
Exactly. And so I want to show you guys a little bit of I'll just get rid of that thing there. But so I want to just show you that on the mega space and also in the chart itself, how I calculate a little bit about how I calculate that -10 bias arrow. Okay, so you can see here where I'm pointing. This is the 30-minute chart. Okay, and it's using Icon-Ashi candles. But when you look at this, you could see the momentum on 30 minutes. And so when you see the momentum like this and you calculate a -10 on it, look at that and just imagine how much effort it's going to take to turn the ship around. Okay, so I want you guys to see what it's based on and why it's so important. So when you get a -10 on the bias candle and it stays -10 for longer, then you have to realize that it's going to take so much effort to try and turn it around. So when everyone's short, unless those shorts get out, it's the longs that's offside. So you have to understand that when everyone gets in short, they're going to stay in to maximize their profit because they hold on to their winners, unlike, us. Okay, so they're holding on to their winners and they're going to hang on to it because they're making money and they're making more money every minute. So unless they get squeezed out or their stops get hit, you're not going to get rid of them. And as long as they stay in short, we're going down. So for us to turn this ship around, we have to fight all of this effort to get it back to green again. So that's why you have to understand. When you see that sea of red, when you see that bias candle, it takes a lot of effort to change the ship around. And once you understand that, and once you know that, okay, I'm not going to go and fight against this huge ship, I think you're going to start, doing better. And I mean, I'm saying you as in general person. I mean, we all will do better if we stop fighting the trend, even though sometimes you can make money.
Yeah, and that's all. So of course, caveat that trend is it's low, 20%, less than 20% of the time. Most of the time, as you were saying, the mean reversion is the way to play it.
Exactly.
But
So
today was a clear trend.
exactly, but so if you go back to the where is the mean reversion? So if you go here, so we say, okay, if you look at how to play it, so mean reversion, so you go to the bands and then you come down. You can come down all the way to the other side, blue band, or you can bounce at the VWAP. But so unless there's a clear trend, these are very profitable plays. So you don't want to get. You see, the problem is and I'm talking about my experience, how I've always done it, and where I got burned is, you know, you see it running up, and you're like, okay, it's finally moving up. Okay, I gotta get in on this. I cannot miss this. And then what happens is you get in at the top, and then it turns, and it's amazing how every time you look at your option prices, you're like, holy shit, I bought at the worst possible time. How is that possible? I mean, has that never happened to you guys? It's like, this is like, they should use me as an indicator, because, it's like, I can tell you when the worst time is to buy, so that's how it happens until you start getting disciplined, is that you literally buy at the worst possible time. When your gut tells you it's time to get in, it's really time to get out. And so the best way to do it is to understand these basic things. So unless there's a clear trend, you're never going to get bullish at the top. You're never going to get bearish at the bottom. And yes, there's going to be times when you're wrong, and then where there's a trend forming, but then you're going to change your position and you'll end up making more money. But you're going to buy puts at the top. So watch these bands, guys. I promise you, they're magic. You can ask next level 5, because I think he's seeing that too. So when you get to the top, you're going to buy puts. You're going to take partial profits as you approach VWAP, because you could bounce there. And then if you keep going, you're going to lock in more profits at the bottom band. And if you keep going, then obviously you can keep runners, but that's unlikely. It's more likely that you're going to bounce, and you'll make more money by taking profits before you get to that band. But yeah, so you're going to so the day starts off, obviously trading at the open, you only want to do if Mega Space says everything's moving in the same direction. If it's mixed, then I would not bother. Wait until 10 a.m. and then you wait to find something that's at these mean reversion bands. And if you can get a yellow triangle combined with it, then it's even better. Or a blue triangle like we have there, then it's even a better or a safer play. But yeah, then you just play the mean reversion. And so puts at the top, pulls at the bottom, partial profits, VWAP, before you get to the next band. And then if it starts getting a trend, then obviously you got in at the bottom band. You took partial profits at VWAP, more profits at the top band. You kept the runner maybe, and then it just keeps going, and you're like, okay, so now I'm 10% in profit, so now I can add to my winner. So that's really the strategy you want to practice. Just play small, because when you play small, it's much easier to think clearly. Just start off with 1 or 2 contracts. If obviously you cannot keep runners if you just have 1 contract. But, the smaller you start until you can get consistent, the better you're going to do. So give this a shot. I think this is really where you want to start every day at 10 a.m. is play those mean reversions. And again, if you see a trend, obviously on a trend day, you should be making 5 or 10 times more than normal. So even when you're wrong and you cut your losers, if it's a real trend day, you're gonna make way more than what you would lose. So give this a try. Let me know how it works.
And the important thing to remember is you're most of the time playing mean reversion. It is most of the time going to work.
It's
Compared to
70% of
trend
days
day.
are mean reversion. Exactly. It's only like
Right.
15, 16% of days that you're gonna have trend, and then the rest are just chop days that you don't want to play. I mean, so if you see long wicks, stay away. You know, wait. So you don't want to play anything if you have long wicks. You gotta make sure that the chop is gone because you're just gonna lose money. But stop buying puts at the top. Stop buying calls at the bottom. Even if it sometimes work out, you have to. I mean, trading is about discipline. That's all it is. Um, Now you did ask about. So I added an auction levels. I added an option for simplified. Um, so if you uncheck it, you'll see it as the open range, and it has the call triggers and put triggers and a bunch of other stuff, and the golden zones, and and multiple VWAPs and stuff like that, which a lot of traders are using, and they're loving it. Um, but I find for myself that it's just too much noise, and too much things to think about. So I added an option. So if you go there, you say simplified. It's the same as use with Trend Trader, but it's even more simplified. So when you do that, it basically only keeps the things that really matter, and that's the pre-market levels, previous day levels, and then the high and the low and the open. So it's just much cleaner, and it only gives you the levels that's super important on any chart.
Nice.
Yeah, then and then obviously you guys saw, so I have these alerts that come in. So there's a summary of everything on here, and then it has the VIX and ES and everything together. So you can right click on it, and then you can say mark everything as red. So you click on the category, and then you can also say mute category until I turn it back on. And then if you only care about Amazon, then you right click on it, and then you will say you want all your notifications on it. Not sure. Maybe I shouldn't say mute on everything. But you could turn on. So go and play around with it, and then you can just turn on the notifications you want. Or you can just sit here at the eye level and then see Amazon new low of day. Obviously, if you see everything's making new low of days, then you shouldn't be playing calls. Otherwise, you're not doing it right. So I'll be shooting this a little bit, but if you guys have any ideas, I'm gonna take the 21 EMA out because that's just too noisy. I'm not sure it adds enough value. But yeah, if you have any ideas or any questions, let me know. But if you just spend time looking at all of the data, I think you have everything here to become a better trader.
Yeah, absolutely. Start with the mean reversion, and that there's going to be time it's going to be trend. Be nimble. Don't add to your losers. You stick to those three philosophies, I think it's going to be a lot better for people.
Yeah, and then obviously I always say this, but the most important thing are levels. Okay, so I mean, so if you listen to Ripster as well, I mean, so he goes in and he does all of his levels, and he's very good at it, and he explains it to you. And then also Trade Brigade does the same thing in the morning. So if you guys want to get better at identifying levels and playing them, that's show up earlier, listen to them. So levels are most important, and that's why I have the alert levels, because it goes and get the pre-market levels, which are the most important, previous day levels most important, and then so pre-market most, previous day next, and then today's high and lows are the third one. So getting your levels right is the most important thing. Then the next thing is to know what your trend bias is. So that's the EMA cloud. So we have, bearish bias or bullish bias, and we know how that changes. They have to, get above the EMA clouds. But then if they trigger these levels, that's when you want to get in. Okay. So we have a bearish bias. Okay, because EMA clouds are red, we're below it. You can see that it rejects off it every time. So then when do you get in? You want to get in at one of these levels. So that's why I have these alerts, so that you can get in at the best times and not miss it. Okay, so that's how you want to play it. And then obviously, if you play mean reversion, then you're just gonna watch it at the bands, and then get puts at the top and calls at the bottom. But if you're gonna play more of a trend move, then you're gonna get in at these levels based on, and then you have a bias. So that's the basics of it, and then you just have to practice it. And I think at some point, if you guys have time, we should do more mic time during the day, where we're not calling trades, but we talk about how we analyze things and what we're looking at, and why something is a good idea or a bad idea, and what we're expecting could happen at the VWAP. If it bounds, it could reject, so different things. But yeah, so if you have some time, we should do that, Mr. Vic. Because I don't want to talk to myself unless I have someone else to talk to. I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah. Oh, we should get people involved.
Yeah, I mean, I really need more interaction. If you guys want more from me, I need more from you. Okay, because I'm not gonna be, because I mean, many times during the day I type stuff. I'm like, okay, we're at the bottom. We're in the, and it's like I type stuff. I'm like, well, I'm not sure if anyone's listening. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna stop doing it. Well, unless I know I'm adding value, I'm not. I'm gonna do less.
Enough. I think definitely people find value from it. Sometimes they may be just involved in different things, but yeah, get people more involved.
Yes, no, absolutely, and I mean, I understand people have other priorities, but that's just, no one likes to just talk into the wind, and So Chris, did I answer your question about the mean reversion? So it's not like it's an indicator. Let me just quickly jump back to that. I'm not sure how old that question is, but so if you go back here, so if you go back to you'll see I have this strategies and education category in Discord. So if you go down there and you go to mean reversion, there's going to be a couple of, so there's some text for people that like reading. If you're like me, you're going to look at the pictures. So our blue bands at the top and the bottom that we, I call them mean reversion bands. They're basically Keltner channels, so they're well defined in terms of the expected move for a stock. So if you look at this example, you start off, so you touch the top blue band, you go down to the bottom blue band, you go up, touch the top blue band, go down to the VWAP, go to the top band, go down, bounce a little bit off the VWAP, go to the bottom band. So that's what we mean with mean reversion. So we're bouncing between these bands at VWAP. And so VWAP is actually the mean. So that's the value, the price, the most accepted price.
I was looking to add the bands.
Yeah, so basically the idea is when you get to the top bands, you want to play puts, and when you get to the bottom bands, you want to play calls until you get to the point of a trend. So when you keep doing this, and then when it keeps going up, and if it stays, you see, here's the key. For a decent trend, you want to stay outside of these bands. So you're not going to get a trend unless you can get outside of these mean reversion bands and stay there for a little bit. Well, it's less likely, let me put it that way.
I think Chris said he was looking to add the band trading view. If you have the
Yeah, just
indicator,
just add the indicator. It's right there, so you don't have to do anything special. So it's part of our indicator. It's the blue line, so you don't have to do anything special.
And the beauty of the blue line is also down. Right?
Exactly, it changes colors, so it goes green or red. Exactly. Yep. So and then the VWAP, we have the VWAP there, and it, so when you have a little bit of a contraction, it will dull out a little bit. You know that it's probably a good time to wait for some more action. So most of your moves happen when the VWAP is bright. Any other questions, guys? I hope this helps a little bit, but yeah, I just wanted to give you and I want to create another presentation that talks about basically going through a day, starting off with the levels. Then before open, you want to identify your best call plays, your best put plays based on the megaspace indicator. If you're going to play if you're going to play the open, you want to know who's going to be the best calls and put plays. Okay, identify them up front. Have your contracts ready. When everything moves in the same direction, if it's calls, you play the calls, whatever you identify. If everything is red, you want to play the puts. If it's mixed, don't play. Yeah, I mean, this is my strategy. You can do whatever you want. Then take profit into 10 a.m. Wait for 10 a.m., see a trend, then start with mean reversion. So we're at the bottom band, I'm ready to play calls. I'm at the top band, I'm ready to play puts. If I can combine it with a yellow triangle, it makes the calls stronger. If I can combine it with a blue triangle, it makes the puts stronger. So you play those. I mean, you're gonna play small, because you're just practicing. But you also want to make sure you only do it after the chop is gone. So when you see long wicks, you do not want to play anything. Okay, so that just sits on your hands. You should learn not to do anything if there's chop. And then you play mean reversion until there's a trend. Now, usually, so you can have an individual stock trending, and that's good. But if you see everything trending, if you see everything's red, everything's green, you see everything riding the EMA cloud, this is now when you say, okay, time to focus. I'm not getting up. I mean, if everything moves together, if they're all of the mega caps ride the EMA clouds, whether it's green or red, now you have to say, guys, this looks like a possible trend day. Okay, so now it's time to focus. Now it's time to, if it's green, you want to buy those when it drops down. If it's red, you want to short the bounces. But I mean, so you have to learn to recognize the different setups and then, be ready for it. Now, if you have a cash account, don't spend all your buying power in the morning, because you're going to get better trades most of the time in the afternoon. I know everyone says it's the other way around. I disagree, because the morning is let me just quickly let this person know. I'll call them right back. 1 second. Just so the so basically, I mean, so you could they could definitely make more money at open, no question. But you need more skills to do that. So if you're not a skilled professional trader, then the chances of you making more money later in the day is much bigger, in my opinion, because you can wait.
If you're not Ripster.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not Ripster, especially if you have a cash account, just waiting is going to make you more money, and it's going to make you consistent quicker. I mean, you're just going to do better if you wait. I mean, um, and if you're a professional trader, I don't know what you're doing in this group. Um, so really waiting is a good idea for most people. Um, any any other questions?
Hi, Frick.
Hey.
So, hey, I was thinking and talking to Kavi as well. What we wanted to do is basically wanted to learn from our mistakes, also learn from experienced traders like you guys are, right? Definitely better than us. So, I'm thinking to go back and so let's say whatever I know you called it out today that puts you took a view up, but something like if you're done or something, if we can see what time you took it or something, then this way at least we can go back and kind of from learning curve that okay took puts at this point, okay, why didn't I or if I think about it, why didn't I take it like this? So for some time if you think this can add value, I was thinking to do that exercise every evening for our learning. I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think if you guys find value, it would be good for us to uh, talk after the trading day and learn from each other. And then, I think it would help because, I mean, the fact is, it's the same recipe every day, so if you can do the same thing every day, it's what Ripster does as well. But, if we just go over it, if it adds value, we can do that every day, after we trade. I want to spend more time during the day as well, where we look at, what's happening. But, it's important that, there's other people that's willing to participate. Otherwise, it's going to be a waste of time.
No, I think during the days also. Yeah. So I think we're gonna be Chavi and I gonna be more active as well. Again, we were away from day today. What a great day to be away, but we gotta take care of things.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
I
sure,
mean,
we're gonna be more. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the other thing is, I mean,
More active.
it's much harder for me to trade when I'm on the mic, so that's why I minimize that because, while I'm talking, I'm not able to trade properly and think about the trade and so on. So I mean, so when we get on the mic during the day, the idea is not. I don't want to answer questions during the day. I mean, we can answer questions after the trading day is over. So during the day, I'm hoping to get on the mic where there's very little talk. So I don't want to chit chat. I don't want to hear about the dog. The idea is we're sitting there and then Vic will say, "Hey guys, look at Tesla's mega space. It's recovering the lower time frames because I mean remember for anything to recover, let's just quickly go there. For anything to turn around, certain things has to happen. So right here, you can see for Tesla to turn around, the 1 minute is turning green, 3 minutes. So it's not going to turn around, unless there's a news event and it has a sudden change. But you're expecting most stocks to start recovering and fixing the lower time frames, 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, and then you expect to see a super trend happening as well. then you expect the bias signal to change. So I mean, so you expect certain things to happen before something turns around. So I mean, so the idea is we sit and we're like, and then someone's like, hey, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that, I'm seeing it's approaching the VWAP, I'm seeing multiple tops, double bottom. It's like, hey, what about Airbnb? This has been the case. So we're analyzing things together. We're pointing things out. We're not. It's not a training session. I don't want to do any training during the day. That's just going to be too disruptive. After the day is over, I'm happy to answer questions and do some trading. But during the day, it's got to be detective work as a team for those interested. And again, we're still not going to do any cold trading and say, oh, now take this, now take that. I mean, we still want to be able to take our own trades and manage our own risk. But, we'll be, private spies looking for clues, together. So, yeah, if you guys are open for something like that, I mean, I'm not going to be available every day to do that, but if that's something that makes sense, we could do some of that, and if it works, we'll do more of it. And then after the day's over, if people are available, we can do training and answer questions.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely sounds good. Good, Frick.
Okay, appreciate it. Anything else?
One quick question, Frick, and I can go back and maybe Chevy knows about it. So, I see Tesla as example you're showing, it says -2. So I assume price went -2, right? From the open?
No. It's on the 30 minutes. So if we look at Tesla, so on the 30 minutes, so this is what Tesla looks like. I mean, so it still looks, pretty bad in terms of the ability to recover. I'm not actually sure why is this. Looks like it should have a much worse score. I'll take a look at that. But basically, I'm looking at the action at 30 minutes, and if it's red, it means it's going to be a lot of effort to turn all of this momentum around. But yeah, that -2 sounds a little optimistic. I'm going to look at the math there. Looking at this, I'm expecting a bigger number.
If you replay it, try to replay it earlier. So it was going up for a little while, and everything else was a sea of red, and then it turned to go red.
Yeah, no, I'll take a look at it. But right now, I mean, this honestly should be much worse than a -2. So I'll take a look at it. But yeah, I mean, I could just look at this chart on 30 minutes and I can tell you it's terrible. It's going to be hard to, where if you look at it earlier today, so this is at 1 o'clock, you could see, I mean, it had strong momentum to the upside. But now it's strong momentum to the downside. And so you have to look at your higher time frames to do better. And so what I'm trying to do here is with the indicators, I'm trying to do that work for you. So I go up all the way to the 30-minute time frame, and I do the looking for you. Because if you don't look at higher time frames, you're not going to do well as a trader. I mean, yes, I trade on the 2-minute chart, but only because I know what the higher time frames look like. So you have to always keep that in mind. You cannot just look at a 5-minute chart and think you're going to do well. You have to understand the higher time frames. And so that's what the indicators does for you, and you don't have to do it yourself. Yeah, I'm going to give you an option to use bigger fonts on the indicator. Personally, I like it small because, I have a lot of charts open and I can put it next to each other. But I'll give you an option to use bigger fonts.
Yeah, some of us have terrible eyes, Frick, and we need a little bit bigger just to see.
I have terrible eyes too, but I see red and I know what it looks like.
I can see red. I just like it when I look at the number.
I see blood in the streets.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. But
okay, well, guys, thank you.
thank you, Frick.
Hopefully that helps. But I mean, again, it's the same recipe every day. So the more we repeat it and the more we practice it, the better you're gonna do.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thanks, guys. Have a good one. Oops.